Mr. Dugan,
Sorry, I don't understand your...
over the last several years, we've seen repeated efforts in Democrat-controlled cities and states to effectively decriminalize theft. California, for example, said that any theft under $950 is no longer a felony, and we won't arrest you if you're under that dollar figure. A recent NBC News article stated that both CVS and Walgreens say shoplifting in San Francisco outpaces thefts at their stores across the country. Pretty common sense. If you remove or greatly reduce the penalty for stealing things, theft gets worse. What exactly are the figures for non-employee theft in CVS stores around the country? And in particular, how do the rates of theft differ in jurisdictions with so-called progressive prosecutors who decline to prosecute shoplifting versus jurisdictions where law enforcement is enforcing laws against theft?
Well, thank you for that question, Senator. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to disclose CVS financial information about losses. But if you allow me to comment, this is not a big city problem, right? Decriminalization is contributing to the problem. You're right, sir.
Is there more theft in San Francisco than elsewhere?
No, sir.
There's not.
Not relative to the amount of stores and market share that we have. It's higher. But
so NBC News was wrong when they said that.
I can only speak to what I see every day on the ground, Senator, and I follow these criminals day to day from state to state and city to city.
So CVS would support other jurisdictions legalizing shoplifting up to $950?
CVS does not support legalizing shoplifting.
Why not?
Senator.
Why not?
We're not going to endorse criminal activity.
But you're saying it has no effect.
I never said it had no effect.
You said there's not worse shoplifting in San Francisco. I find that highly dubious.
No effect, Senator.
Does it have an effect or not?
Yes, of course it does.
What's the effect?
The effect is shoplifting is completely different than organized retail crime. If you're talking about shoplifting, that's a whole different dynamic than organized retail crime.
And so my question is, what's the effect? You guys have the data.
I'm sure I understand your question, Senator. Is there an effect? Do we take losses to shoplifting? Yes, like every other retailer.
And are they greater in jurisdictions that effectively legalize it?
No, they're not.
So then why would you oppose every jurisdiction legalizing shoplifting? Your answer's not making any sense, sir.
Well, I respectfully disagree. I think it's making perfect sense. What I'm saying, Senator, is this crime goes to all 50 states. It's not a big city problem. Absolutely not.
So why would you oppose every jurisdiction legalizing shoplifting? Sir, why would you oppose every jurisdiction legalizing shoplifting?
We're not going to. Why are we not going to oppose
legalizing
shoplifting?
Yes.
No, we're not going to do that, Senator. We're not going to endorse criminal activity. But shoplifting is a different dynamic than organized retail crime. And what I'm here to testify about today is that organized retail crime affects every city,
that's really quite remarkable.
Including the major cities in Texas.
That's really quite remarkable. Let me ask a different question, which is you go into great detail about organized criminal organizations. But I want to point to you to something in Ms. Campbell's testimony, where she cites the work of J.P. Kennedy, who's written a lot on the subject of theft. And one scholarly article that Mr. Kennedy wrote, Functional Redundancy in Response to Employee Theft Within Small Businesses, has an interesting paragraph on the second page which is relevant to this discussion. It says, quote, "It has been estimated that employee theft within the United States is 10 times more costly than all forms of traditional street crime, and that it cost victimized businesses in the U.S. economy as much as $400 billion a year. Furthermore, employee theft is estimated to cost victimized businesses significantly more than non-employee theft within the same businesses." In your experience, what is the relative magnitude of employee theft versus non-employee theft for retailers?
My scope at CVS, Senator, is to investigate the external part of the theft. I don't have the internal figures necessarily at CVS. I will say overall, as the president of the Coalition of Law Enforcement and Retail, that internal theft is down. I could certainly provide you a report with those figures attached to it, Senator, if you'd like me to. But do
you have any judgment as to which is bigger, employee theft or non-employee theft?
Well, it's I might be a biased opinion there, Senator, because I'm in the street every day working on organized retail crime. I see the harm that it does every day, why we need this federal legislation. So I see it.
Sir, with all respect, I'd like you to answer my question. Do you have any judgment as to which is bigger, employee theft or non-employee theft? And in particular, Mr. Kennedy says employee theft is 10 times larger.
No, I would disagree with that assessment.
Do you have any judgment as to which is bigger, employee theft or non-employee theft?
Most recently, over the spread of this epidemic, I would say non-employee theft.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to thank the witnesses.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe by clicking that middle button. Also, check out our previous video by clicking the video on the right, or a video you might enjoy by clicking the video on the left. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share this video on social media. Peace.